Hello and welcome back to Princess Evangile. So, what's she talking about? Please, Ryuko-san, fully defenses must not say that word. Physique! The word finally came to me. Seiya-san's physique is so impressive when he removes his clothes after all. Phew. You look so tired all of a sudden. What is the matter? I had no idea if Riku-san was being serious or not. Wow! I never knew there was a building like this at the top of the mountain. It wasn't a new modern facade like the dorms, but still a lot more impressive than I'd been expecting. You must not enter the lodge. That building is girls only. Since the headmistress had insisted that I stay out, I stayed outside and I waited for the next activity. The dorms were girls only too, though. She really was just a mean person. Good work. Huh? Oh, Seiya-sama. Ritsuko-chan looked extremely tired too. With the large wheeled bag she was dragging behind her, I could see why. You brought a lot of luggage, I see. Yes. Ritsuko-chan placed a hand in her bag and wiped at her forehead. It's because I brought Lottabun. Lottabun? Lots of books for reading, that is. Those two only have lot in common. Excuse me. What's Lottabun? After the final course first years arrived, the next came the girls of the intermediary course. Oh, we made it! I recognised that conspicuously energetic voice immediately. Seiya-sama, salutations. Morning. So you're still in good shape after the walk? Yes, this is nothing compared to the running that we do in club. The girls who played sports were definitely a cut above. Chio was on the track team too, after all. And I'm not carrying any of my equipment, so my luggage was very light. The bag she was carrying was definitely smaller than those of the girls around her. I see you didn't bring much. Well, she seems somehow unhappy about that. What's wrong? I thought maybe you were thinking it's because I'm not ladylike. Huh? It's true I don't put as much attention to my toiletère as some of the others, but that's the reason I didn't bring much luggage. You mean like your makeup and your lotion? Yeah, I'm not picky about my toiletries, so I just use the ones in the lodge. My classmates and friends in club think it's strange, but yeah, it's cool though. I leaned in close and nodded. Your skin's very beautiful. In addition, she produced a natural feminine fragrance that perfume couldn't match. But I was not about to mention that. Please don't look. Alright. I pulled away quickly and thought she might be angry, but it seemed more like she was just embarrassed. If you're intended to get me pregnant, I must ask you to follow the proper procedures. That was not my intention. Excuse me? Kanomi-chan was the same as ever, and it seemed like one lesson wasn't enough. You know she's insane, right? The intermediary course first years arrived safely, and everyone went to their rooms. It's hot. Oh, how long was I going to have to wait here? With the others gone, I'd nothing to do. There was something lonely about sitting out here, alone, listening to the cat. No, whatever. They said they were going swimming right after they arrived, so maybe they were just getting changed for that. Wish I could swim too. The mountain air was cool, but the sunlight shined down mercilessly. I knew that I was only coming along as part of community service, and I wasn't there to have fun. But still, a figure appeared from the entrance. Good work on the climb. Oh, you too. Speaking of which, I noticed you're dressed the same as usual, sister. Huh? I just mean, isn't it hot? Her habit and long sleeves went down to her ankles. It seemed a little rough for mountain climbing. I have the protection of God after all. Oh, it's a clearing the mind of worldly thoughts thing. I'm just kidding. All that aside, it is quite hot. I see. Are you allowed to say all that aside about God? This Despite how calm I look, I'm sweating buckets underneath this heavy robe. Do you believe me? No, not at all. You like faith, I see. But I'm only allowed to take it off in my personal quarters, or when I am alone. That must be hard. It's because I am a nun. I'd never gone there before. I'd had a chance, but I'd heard there was a monastery near the school. It had been founded by the same mission that had founded Venice's, and they had a sisterly relationship with the school. It must be hard on you as well. They won't even allow you into the lobby. Well, that's never helping it. I'm glad I got to participate at least this much. But where are the others? They are changing and enjoying themselves. I imagine it will be another 30 minutes? Ugh. That many girls changing together is a recipe for chaos. Could I really cause that much trouble? Oh yes, they feel like they have to touch everything after all. Really? Yes. Perhaps the reason I chose the life of a nun was because of the dizzying experiences of times like these. I am joking. Sister, you've got a real playful side to you, don't you? It's compensation for my lost youth. She really was playful. Even without boys around, there are many temptations in an all-girls school. I think back on the days I spent in the bloom of youth. Maybe she was being serious. It's quite hot just standing here. Should we go to the lakeside? It may well be cooler there. Yes, ma'am. The mountain path to the lodge remained unpaved, but the path to the lakeside was made of planks placed over the wetlands. It was about 10 minutes of walking before the view suddenly opened up. Wow! It's huge. Everyone could swim in it. We're very grateful to have such a wonderful lake just up the mountain. It's impossible for Venices to organise trips to the ocean after all. Really? Ladies must not show their bare skin carelessly after all. Ah. Swimming in a pool is very different from swimming in nature. We like to allow the Filly de Venices to enjoy nature from time to time. Yeah, that reminds me. This will be the first time seeing them all in swimsuits. There was the time we cleaned the pool, of course, but I had a feeling that that didn't count. Does that make you happy? To be honest, yeah. I'm glad that you are so honest. All men are lechers after all. She said it so plainly, but it seemed true enough to me. God, did none of you people have a shame reflex? Anyway. So I find it more unpleasant when men try to hide it. Okay. There's a difference between, enjoying a sight and being a lech. I appreciate it's probably a fairly fine line. But, I'll keep that in mind. Please don't think that I'm asking you this as a teacher, but... Miss Seikun, is there a girl that you like? Silence means... I see. Is it someone that you can't admit to? No, it's not that. It isn't me, is it? No, ma'am. You don't have to deny it so quickly. She was a hard one to get around. You've been surrounded by girls ever since you came to this school. I assume that you must have fallen for one of them. I'm only surrounded by girls because that's all Venices has. Well, that is true. So am I wrong? And that silence means... No. So you haven't fallen for anyone? That's quite surprising. I wouldn't say that I haven't, exactly. I couldn't say that, especially after the recent incident. I did like someone, that much was clear. I was just in the ridiculous position of being unable to choose who I liked best. No, I'm sorry, I've already picked. We have a choice between the psychopath, the lunatic... let's face it, we have the two people who keep trying to kill us, the boring one, and the one who is at least fun. I mean, she's crazy, but she is at least fun. It surprised me to realise it, but it turns out I'm pretty indecisive about these things. Indecisive? Well, they do all have their charms, don't they? I nodded. But I also know that these things can't stay that way. I see. Sister Mishima smiled and nodded. I was rather worried, but as long as you're aware of that, then I won't say anything further. Despite all appearances, I could see that Sister Mishima really was looking out for us. I should look back to the path. Ah, it appears they have arrived. I had passed the premier judgment, but that didn't necessarily mean I had fully integrated into the student body. I didn't know the boy would be here. I could hear the whispers among the swimsuit-clad assembly. Well, it stands to reason, I guess. It was one thing to have class together, but it was natural that such sheltered girls would feel self-conscious about showing their skin before a man. It was actually kind of charming in a way. Still a magnificent view. There was something almost unreal about seeing all those girls, their faces serious, doing organised stretches together. My lifeguard duties went off without a hitch, and we were approaching our noon break. Maybe it's curry. I saw a cylindrical pot being brought in. I'd seen a few of the girls clustered together and leave before, and I thought they might have been ill, but it seems that they were preparing the food. Looks like a bread line or something. I was heading towards the pot when I saw the usual gang gathering together, so I moved to join them. Oh, there you are, Mr. San. It's time for the afternoon curry. So it is a curry. Sounds great. It had been a long time since I'd eaten curry rice. Plenty of pork miso soup at the soup kitchens, but... well, let's line up. The girls formed an orderly line, and we hooked up at the end of it. Oh, wow, I'm tired. Tired from walking, tired from swimming. Camp's all about tiring me out. But it's quite nice to swim outside, isn't it? You have a point. I never knew you liked swimming so much. I think about it. I don't remember you going on the camping trips very often. You usually stayed home with me. Yes. Then why did you suddenly... It's just because... I get it. What? It's because of Masaya-kun, right? You wanted him to see you in your swimsuit, right? What are you talking about? Of course not. That's right. If you're going to look at someone, look at me. Ah! Indeed. Konomi-chan leaped forward, arms spread to block my view of Ritsuki-chan. Her rigid posture just ended up protruding her chest towards me, though. What are you looking at? Her chest. That's quite honest of you. Sister Mishima said it was good for boys, to be honest. Figured I'd try it out. I prefer my boys to be discreet, personally. Sorry. You've really grown, though, Konomi. Do you think? I'm still 77 centimeters as always. I'm not talking about your chest. So she's 77 centimeters, huh? What are you looking at? I wonder. Oh, for heaven's sake, idiot. I was trying to be discreet, but it just got me kicked again. It's more that you seemed so self-conscious back when you were cleaning the pool. Now you're comfortable showing it all off. It's a tremendous development. I'm still self-conscious? My face is aflame with embarrassment? But I would still prefer to sacrifice myself than have him looking at Wanasama? So, offering myself up as a sacrifice under Masaya-sama's gaze? She seems happy about it to me. What's wrong? You look strange all of a sudden. Does your stomach hurt? No, not at all. So why did you suddenly decide to come this year? Well, it's because I'm the leader of the Red Rose Society. Oh? Well, it's important for me to interact with the public, for the Red Rose's sake. Interact with the public? Seems to exhaust you. It does. But I am the leader after all. You really are putting yourself through a lot, Ritsuku. By the way, Masaya-san, is your head injury fully healed? Yeah, it's fine now. Really? I thought perhaps you opted out of swimming because you felt dizzy. Oh no, it's nothing like that. I can still hardly believe that you're a hopeless swimmer, Masaya-san. Why's that? Because you're so physically skilled. You have amazing reflexes. I don't know, I'm not anything special. I wonder. Well, all people have their own strengths and weaknesses. I do poorly at nearly all physical activities, yet I excel at swimming. Oh, I see. Now, strictly speaking, it's because I float. Breasts float. Hers basically act as buoys. Really? I never knew. The question was out my mouth before I could reconsider. At the very least, it is quite nice to feel so liberated from gravity. I see. Oh, well, you're right. All humans have things they're good at and things they're not. Well, as long as you're feeling better, that's all that matters to me. Yeah, thanks. We had a long break after lunch, so the girls went back to the lodge to rest. And afterwards they changed back into their swimsuits and returned to the lake and swam under the summer sun until it cast long shadows over the water. Now, Masaya-kun, I'm terribly sorry, but I must ask you to return for the day. Yes, ma'am. I realise that it's only a short distance, but I'm concerned about a student walking the mountainside road alone. I'd prefer for you to have some accompaniment. I understand. It's alright to ask just one person. We can ask one of the resident jardins to accompany her back, after all. I see. Well then, salutations. Yes, ma'am. And I realised what Sister Mishima was getting at. She was asking me to pick someone to invite. Thanks, Sister Mishima. I bowed to her as she walked away. Oh, I know. Yes? Why don't I accompany you? No, thank you. But adult women do have their charms. I'll pass, if you please. Oh, but the feeling of corrupting a member of the clergy. That's not even funny. No, I suppose it isn't. I pulled out my cell phone. Who did I want to accompany me? Okay, let's face it, up until now, every one of these decisions has not mattered in the slightest, as far as I've seen so far, because, yeah, they've all been basically him thinking about it. But now this one, I'm assuming, will actually change something. So, no. Too crazy, too boring. At least she's fun. This is the, you know, the qualities that I'm going for. So Ayaka it is. Masaya-kun, what kind of trouble are you trying to stir up? Huh? What do you mean trouble? I understood the meaning of the phrase, but it seemed, well, a little sudden. Inviting me along with you? Is it that strange? It's not strange exactly, it's just surprising. Why? Well, you know. Ayaka-san gave me a meaningful smile. There are a lot of beautiful girls you could have chosen from. Rise is first on the list, but there's Chiyo and Ritsuko and Ruiko and Konomi. And yet you chose to invite me. You're very beautiful too, Ayaka-san. Oh, nicely done. You're not bad at flattery at all. Seriously? No. There is an art to grovelling, right? There's a fine line between flattery and grovelling properly is an art form. And it's one of the few things I'm genuinely good at. It's not just flattery. Oh? Well, I'm glad to hear that, but I wasn't referring to the compliment. And as she spoke, Ayaka-san gave me a slightly bashful smile. It's just... well, I am a year older. So... it just seems like it would make me unapproachable, you know. What does your being older have to do with that? I don't know, but, you know, it seems to me that boys prefer women their own age or younger. I don't really care about things like that. Oh, I see. So you like older women then? I don't really know. Too bad. We walked together down the deserted mountain road. Was it really that surprising? I didn't really think of her as older, I thought of her as Ayaka-san. Now that I think about it, it's unusual for the two of us to end up alone together. Yeah. A young man and woman all alone together on a dark road. What do men usually do to women in situations like these? What do you mean? Have his way with her or something, you know? This summer, after all. I don't know, I don't think all men are like that. Really? What about you, Masaya-kun? Never really thought about it before. But I'd never been in that situation, after all. Well, what about now? That's right, I was in that situation now. I looked back at the young woman at my side. Her extraordinary beauty, her extraordinary figure. And because it was summer, she was dressed lightly, and I could make out all the lines of her body. Hey, stop undressing me with your eyes. Sorry. I don't think I would. Oh, are you saying I'm not appealing? To be honest, I'm just not a fan of violence. I think things like that should come from their mutual feelings for each other. Do you think that's naive? Seriously? This conversation? Yeah, oh god. This conversation's gone to an extremely weird place. Because they seem to be implying it's weird that he doesn't want to try and rape her just because they're alone. That is not weird. That is being a decent goddamn human being. God, I wish I was drinking something stronger than water. What do you mean? Well, do you think a man should be more forceful? Well, that's one way of looking at it. But there's a difference between being forceful and forcing her. I see. Oh goodness, what are we even talking about? Excellent question, Ayaka. For the love of Christ, get us onto a different subject. You're the one who brought it up, Ayaka-san. Yeah, true enough. I'm just not used to being around men, that's all. My shoulders slumped. Can you believe it? Since I was 10 years old, I was surrounded by nothing but girls. I graduate this year, but I'll still be attending Venice's Girls' College. Venice's have a college branch? This is a kindergarten too. If I decided to work at Venice's too, it'd be a true cradle-to-grave situation. That's pretty amazing. And that's why a lot of Philly Venices have marriage arranged for them. Personally, I think that's a little strange. I think a person should find their own match. Is that what you plan to do, Ayaka-san? I don't know. I have an amazing man right here already. Ayaka-san looked me straight in the eye and grinned, and I felt my heart skip a beat. She's teasing me again, isn't she? But I didn't exactly mind having a beautiful woman smile at me that way. Ayaka-san really is beautiful. If she conducted herself like a normal girl, she'd have easily earned a title on par with Sully the Cole. I said normal, but she wasn't a bad person, she was... Hey, Miseko, do you want to hold hands? Hold hands? Yes. Why? I felt like the air had gone suddenly dry and my tongue had stuck to the roof of my mouth. Do I need a reason? It's just holding hands. Oh, come on, hurry. It's okay to be a little forceful about things like this. Okay. I held up my hand and I took hers. Gah! And the moment I felt her hand, I jumped in the air. What? I pulled back my hand reflexively, as if I just touched a hot stove. What? Even though I was panicking, Ayaka-san looked at me with complete calm. What's wrong? Well, I looked down at my own hand, remembering the feel of a palm just a minute before. It was hard. Harder than flesh or bone should be. Especially when the rest of Ayaka-san's body was so soft. There's no way that was a human touch. Ayaka-san, what have you got in your hand? What do you think it is? I found it in a room in the lodge. A mannequin? Or part of one. Gave me a shock when I first saw it, kind of like someone took it apart. I would be shocked too if someone's arm rolled at me. What's wrong with you, Miseko? You look so horrified. Why are you carrying it around with you? I thought maybe I could use it to serendipitously tickle you on the back or something. Please don't do anything that'll scare me to death. I let out a sigh. She was just teasing me as usual. But this time, I felt a soft sensation enveloping my hand, completely unlike that of the mannequin. And I felt the blood rushing to my face as I looked over at Ayaka-san. And her face was slightly red too. There really is a reason. Huh? I have really bad balance. Walking an unpaved mountain road like this, it'd be really easy for me to trip and fall, so, you know, bad balance. Because my breasts are so big. You should try strapping a kilogram of weight to your chest sometime. You'd be stumbling too. Do those things really weigh a kilogram? Hell, I might have rounded up. I glanced at her chest, and nitpicking over exact weights aside, didn't seem that far out of the ballpark. So I thought you might escort me so I don't trip and fall. Do you mind? Not at all. Whether or not there was a reason, I was just happy to be holding Ayaka-san's hand. I suppose we made it. My hand was really sweating. Mine too. Are you that worried I might trip? Well... Oh, well then perhaps you're just like me. Shall I see you off here? Yeah. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow then. Salutations. See you tomorrow. I could still remember the softness of her hand in mine. I wiped her shared sweat on my pants and watched her walk off until she was out of my sight. The end of chapter 15. So we've got 9 more chapters to go, or it might... As I've got a few conflicting reports in this, it's either 24 parts or it might actually be 26. Evening Star Gathering. Sounds nice. But either way, that's probably a pretty decent point to end this part, in all honesty. So I will say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next part.